for long there, longer name. They were established on April 24th, 1974, 44 years ago. Their first season was 1976, and they play in Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. They're headquartered in One Buccaneer Place in Tampa, Florida. They are a part of the National Football League since 1976, haven't left at all. They were in the AFC in 1976, particularly the AFC West in 1976, moved to the NFC in 1977, have stayed there. They were in the NFC Central from 1977 to 2001, and have moved to the NFC South and stayed there since 2002. The team colors are Buccaneer Red, Pewter, Bay Orange. The mascot is Captain Fear. The owner, you got the Glazer family. The chairman is Brian Glazer, Joel Glazer, and Edward Glazer, as well as the general manager is Jason Lick. Head coach, Dirk Coder. They've been the Tampa Bay Buccaneers since they have established their organization. Pretty much the only team nickname is what I've called them, the Bucks. They've won one league championship, which is a Super Bowl championship, back in 2002 when they annihilated the Oakland Raiders. Definitely annihilated the Oakland Raiders in Super Bowl 37. Overall, fantastic defense, one of the best defenses of all time, so just letting you know. Anyway, they have won a conference title, 2002, when they went on to win the Super Bowl. Only time they've won the NFC. They've won the division 6 times in the NFC Central in 1979, 1981, and 1999, in the NFC South in 2002, 2005, and 2007. And they've been to the playoffs 10 times. In 1979, 1981, 1982, 1997, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2005, 2007. Home fields, they were in Tampa Stadium from 1976 to 1997, and have been in Raymond James Stadium since 1998. This is a team that really wants to make a history about them. That's in a positive light, because ever since they've established themselves in 1974, it's been one Super Bowl ring there, which was fantastic, even though John Gruden knew almost all the plays of Oakland because he was the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. But also they had the best defense of all time. They had an okay offense. Their offense wasn't terrible. It's just they started losing pieces. They just, free agency and all that, right? And overall, it just kills the Bucks because they never can seem to get to where they want to be. They haven't been in the playoffs in 11 years. So will this drought end? And could they finally win a Super Bowl soon? Because I feel like this is a team that can, have a positive history with a Jameis Winston and some Mike Evans, But that's all up to what they do as a team, as an ownership, everything as an organization. But this is a team that's, I would say, starving for success. I mean, a Super Bowl is cool. Some teams don't even have a Super Bowl. They have one Super Bowl. But they haven't had a Super Bowl or even relevance for a long time. So we'll see how this franchise does and how they move forward. All right, we got to start with, obviously the quarterback, the most important thing in the world. Not really, but it's an important aspect. If you have a good QB, you got something to build around, And Vinny Testaverde was not half bad. For all the teams that he's played for, everything, just a tall guy that had a lot of picks, but also had a decent amount of touchdowns, He was a QB for the Bucks at 24. His last year in Tampa was 29 years old, and this was a horrible time to really be anything Bucks wise. I mean, he tried his best, but it's really hard when your team just sucks, But anyway, Vinny Testaverde, during his span in Tampa, played in 76 games. He was able to have a record of 24-48, so pretty much 500 there. He completed 1,126 passes with a completion percentage of 52.1%. Had 14,820 yards, 77 touchdowns, 112 picks. Longest pass was 89. His rating is a 64.4, and he got sacked 196 times. So this is a guy that, unfortunately, had nothing, and he tried to make it the best he can. And to be honest, I mean, he was able to have some sort of success out there, you know, and I do believe that, he didn't get to the playoffs, but he sure has done more currently for this franchise than Jameis has. And I think Jameis will top him because he didn't really accomplish anything playoff wise. He just was all right in the regular season. He wasn't even that great neither. But 1987, he was the NFL rookie team. But again, he didn't do great, but he finished off his career with almost 50,000 passing yards. And this is a guy that's, material wise, could have been up for the Hall. He's not going to be in the Hall of Fame because of just the sporadic numbers, but don't blame him on that. His career has mainly been he's trying to piece it together, But Vinny, I would say Vinny, got to put him as the QB right now. All right, now the running back. It's Doug Martin. Running back Doug Martin. He's going to be the Tampa Bay running back, and basically it's because of what I've said. Doug Martin is the best running back in Tampa history. He's been there the longest, and he got 2 Pro Bowls and an All-Pro out of it, and he was, a pretty darn good running back when he was healthy, and that's unfortunate because he never could get that healthy. Just a guy that pretty much averaged a couple of 1,400-yard seasons, and 4 out of the 6 years that he's been in this league, he's only had about 400-plus rushing yards. And that's it, dude. Like, honestly, he isn't the best running back ever, but he has the capability of being that guy if he's healthy. And since he has produced pretty much the best here in Tampa overall, because the running backs have never been that great franchise-wise, Doug Martin's going to be in it. The guy played for over 50 games. He was able to get over 4,500 rushing yards, He was able to get 130 receptions for 1,091 receiving yards. He's got the ability of doing great things if he's healthy. So, great guy. And all I can say is that I think he's going to do just fine. 2012 NFL rookie team, sorry. Either or, it's the same. He was a part of the best rookies in the NFL, But, yeah, Doug Martin, I think he's going to do a lot of great things. He needs to be healthy. Now, Tampa is a pass-first team. That's literally their entire history has been pass-first kind of people, kind of offense, That's just how they've rolled. That's how they've been rolling. And even now, their running game isn't really strong. They need to have the offensive power come through the air. So I'm not going to have a fullback in this scenario. I'm going to have a 3 wide receiver set most of the time with a tight end there. I think that would work best for them, especially since Testaverde, I think he can make silly throws and get away with it because they have big receivers out here in Tampa. Like, the first receiver is going to be Vincent Jackson. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler. He's a 6'5" guy. Like, he's a tall man. He's going to get by you. And he can. He's a great receiver. He's had those years of domination. And definitely has played a lot better out here in Tampa than he has in San Diego. But this is a guy that's in San Diego had 268 receptions for 4,326 yards, 20 receiving touchdowns, and an average game of 68.7 receiving yards a game. Overall, the fact that he fumbled twice is not great, but at the same time, big body receiver. Didn't get a chance to play in the postseason with Tampa, definitely with San Diego. But, yeah, he will be just fine on where he stands receiver-wise. They're going to do well. Wide receiver, Mike Evans. He's going to be the second guy. So you got a 6'5" Vincent Jackson. Well, another 6'5" and Mike Evans, a strong guy. Like, I saw that guy pick some corners up with their little babies. Like, this is a guy that's nothing to play with, bro. So, a great football player and tough as nails. He's been elected to the Pro Bowl. He's just been a guy that's been all over the field and just killing it every year. He really does. He really does kill it. A guy that's just, he's put up some great numbers. He hasn't had the 100 reception season yet, but he's had numerous. Every single year he's played, he's had over 1,000 receiving yards, and he's killed it. He's just absolutely just killing the game. He's young, he's still very young at 24, so he's going to go places. And the fact that Vinny Testaverde not only has a man in Vincent Jackson, he's going to have another man in Mike Evans, who was a 2014 NFL rookie team. But yeah, this is a guy that's the real deal, man. I think this is going to be a really good passing attack. Slot receiver, just in general, Joey Galloway. Joey Galloway is really very underappreciated in this organization. Again, this is a guy that's bounced around from team to team, played with Seattle, played with Dallas, played with New England, played with the Redskins, played with Tampa. And the years that he was in Tampa Bay were pretty awesome. It's unfortunate because, yes, he did have a few injuries here and there, and it kind of led him to, not play as much, and he was also in his mid-30s at the time. But this is a guy that really could excel in just every type of offense you imagine. Like, really, he was a fantastic player to watch, and just overall, he's exactly who you wanted to see out there in Tampa. You wanted him with Jeff Garcia and them, and those type of times. He was fantastic football player when he was around. He was a 1995 NFL rookie team. He did not get to the Pro Bowl. He did not do anything like that fancy. But this is a guy that racked up over 700 receptions in his career. That's a pretty good career. So overall, pretty good stuff from the guy. And the fact that he's gonna be the slot receiver with this three deadly, players that have the ability of going and getting the football and have the ability of just having great hands. It's just a good dynamic feel to it, and I really, really enjoy this. And I think Vinny Testaverde will have a very, very great time with this offense. Tight end, we're going to have Jimmy Giles. Jimmy Giles was never a, like a sexy pick, like a sexy choice for tight end. It's not like he's the guy. But he almost had about 300 career receptions with Tampa Bay. He had over 4,000 receiving yards. He's had over 30-plus receiving touchdowns. Like, this is a guy that had production. He went to the Pro Bowl 4 times, and all of them was when he was in Tampa Bay. So this is a guy that will get the ball at some point, and he gets receptions, he gets yardage, he gets touchdowns. So he's doing something right. He's not the best tight end in the world, but I think he will fit perfectly, and I don't believe their passing attack will be diminished. Honestly, I really do believe in this offensive attack. The running game is a little questionable. It all depends which Doug Martin's out there, but the passing is going to be incredible. It could be one of the highest scoring passing yards wise, so we'll see. A team's not complete without an offensive line, and Tampa's line is, it's all right. I'm not going to say it's Hall of Fame level. I'm not going to say it's one of the best lines I've seen, but I feel like they get the job done. And we're going to start with the left tackle, Paul Gruber. Did not go to the Pro Bowl, was not an All-Pro, wasn't mentioned as one of the best tackles when he played, was drafted in 1988, and he played from 1988 to 1999, all with Tampa, his entire career there from the age of 23 to 34. And he was pretty reliable. 183 games that he played, 183 started, and he rarely got injured. So he was almost always there in the games. He was in the 1988 NFL rookie team. Other than that, not many awards for him, but I really believe his durability and his reliability of being durable, that's what's going to help them in the long run. So I'm not too worried about this tackle, but I may be worried when he goes up against like Hall of Fame defensive lines. That might give him some trouble. Right alongside Gruber is going to be Ian Beckles, the left guard. Again, another guy that was not in the Pro Bowl, was not an All-Pro, wasn't even a legitimate, top 10 guard when he played. But a guy that played from 1990 to 1998, 7 years in Tampa, 2 years in Philly. And was he reliable? For the most part, he was. A guy that played 126 games, started 121 of them. He did have his moments of getting injured and, trying to stay healthy. But this is a guy that could be reliable for you. But I really do believe that left side's going to need a lot of help. Yes, they may be reliable. Yes, they may have played a lot of games. Doesn't mean they're fantastic linemen. They could give up a lot of sacks. If I had the ability of telling you how many sacks they gave up, I would. Unfortunately, with what I'm working with, they don't really say exactly how many sacks they gave up. All I know is that they should be okay. They should be, if they're in the NFL, they're a good player, right? But they're not. They're going up against, some of the best players of all time. So how is that going to work for exactly these group of guys? I'm not sure. We'll just have to wait and see. Now the center is Tony Maybury, and he is a Pro Bowler. He's actually a 3-time Pro Bowler. So it's good to have some Pro Bowlers. It's good to have some, some sort of, presence in there that they made it before. They've been to some fantastic events. Again, being a Pro Bowler, being an All-Pro, those are big deals. People don't know that, that don't know much about football, but that's a big deal. That really, really is. But anyway, a guy that pretty much came out of Wake Forest, got drafted in 1990 in the 4th round, and played from 1999 all at Tampa from the age of 23 all the way to the age of 32. Very reliable guy. There was only 1 year where he did not start all 16 games, his rookie year. After that, all 16 games, and he won in 1997 and 1998 as he was a Pro Bowler. So again, one of the best centers in the game at the time. So overall, just a guy that can get it done for you, and a guy that for sure, is going to step up there and be a leader to the guys that really, really do need help. But there are some upside, of course, and you'll see the upside with the right side of the line. And that's going to start with right guard Davin Joseph. Davin Joseph is going to be a great asset to them because, first of all, he was a 2-time Pro Bowler. No pros, but he was still there. He was still considered actually one of the best. At one point, he was one of the top guards in the league. People were like, you really need to get this guy on your team on fantasy or just in general. Not fantasy, but just in general in Madden, sorry. Or, hey, I don't know if fantasy football has offensive line specifics, but, hey, you could definitely put him in there. Anyway, a guy that played 100 games, started 99 of them, played in Tampa for 8 years, St. Louis for 1, played from 2006 to 2014 from the age of 23 to the age of 31. Just a guy that, was pretty solid. And, he did his part. Again, 2-time Pro Bowler. That's about it. But it gives you, again, another added experience, another added star to your line. So I think the center and guard position, Joseph and Maybury, it's going to work out well. And last but not least, the right tackle. He's currently playing actually in the NFL, Donald Penn. He plays for the Raiders now, but he was a Buccaneer for a while. Looking at a 3-time Pro Bowler. He's been a Pro Bowler twice with Oakland and then once with Tampa. Overall, he's been a fantastic, football player and a guy that normally, will start. Looking at 174 games that he's played and 170 starting. Just overall, a guy that's going to be reliable, and he's a big-bodied guy, so he's going to make sure that he covers well, he blocks well for you. So overall, I do believe in Donald Penn. I think he's going to be a big factor and a big voice to this line, and I think this line will do all right. They're going to give up a lot of sacks, but I think they'll do all right. I honestly think Joseph's going to do well. I believe in Maybury. I believe in Penn. And you know what? On the other side with Beckles and Gruber, I think they'll do fine. They'll have a little bit more of a, hard time. It's gonna be a weird line, Definitely, we'll see how that goes.